Hey guys. Hey. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I love seeing y'all's beautiful faces and handsome face. Okay, I'm going to really try to make this short. I know y'all have all had a very long day teaching, as have I. So does everybody have the Google Doc pulled up? First, can everybody hear me? Everybody hear me? Yeah, cool. Okay. So I tried to go through the Google Doc and I highlighted in pink the ones that I felt most of y'all agreed on and I felt like we met. So what I want to do is talk about the other ones and talk about y'all's suggestions of how to meet them and try to hash out at least some of what we're going to do in Capstone. So first, were all of y'all able to see this document today? Really? Yeah, kinda. Do y'all want me to bring it up or do y'all have it pulled up? Here, I can pull it. Let me pull it up here. Okay, can y'all see the doc now? Yeah? All I can see is Casey and Al on my screen. I don't know why. Oh, there's Chelsea. Okay, thumbs up. Thank you, Chelsea. Okay, so what we want to do is look at the ones that we didn't meet. There is no way on God's green earth we're going to meet all of these in Capstone. But I think that hammering out maybe 4 little projects, because the old Capstone, which I'll show you, and I know some of y'all have seen, the old Capstone was 5 projects, one of which to present at LaCue. We're already doing that. So what I want to do is look at these that we're not meeting and perhaps hammer out 4 projects that you guys think would be beneficial for your classroom. Now, here's the thing of why we're doing this. Al can pick 4 projects and Casey can pick 4 different projects. That does not matter to me. What matters to me is that you're doing work for this Capstone course that you feel will benefit your classroom. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to go through, I think there were 12, and we are going to talk about what might meet these. And then you and I individually will talk about which ones you're going to do. And again, y'all do not have to pick the same one. But we need to make sure some of them are going to be more robust than others, right? We need to make sure that you're not picking the 4 least robust or the 4 most robust, okay? So everybody has to present at LaCue or publish. That one's staying. And now I want to talk about the other 12 here and what might we do. So actively participate in a local or global network. I really like this one. Mine was the pink one. So I have an assignment that I use that is a bingo card, and it has 9 different activities on how to build your personal learning network. One of them we used before, it was the follow people on Twitter, and we can use that assignment and you just have to make bingo to build your personal learning network. So that was my idea. Other ideas were a pen pal school, using Skype to have a sister-like type of classroom. Also, the Skype buddy. We've also heard of mystery Skype, where you connect with another teacher and both classrooms kind of have clues to each other and kind of guess where each other is. So this is definitely one that I think everybody felt like we could have more projects in. So I'm going to put the bingo assignment, and I'm also going to put some type of Skype assignment to meet this one as one option for Capstone. So can y'all give me a thumbs up, thumbs down of who thinks that doing the active participation in a local or global digital network would be helpful for their classroom at this point? Yes, no, yes, no? Okay, most people, yes. Okay, and so not only will you have a choice in which of the 12 you're doing, 4 of the 12, but for at least this one, you're gonna have a Skype project and then the bingo project that I like that you can choose from. Okay, report changes made to teaching practices based on timely research-based best practice. So this is my thought on this one is we're getting there on this one. The first one, I think we need to address. This one, I think we changed our teaching based on research. I know that when y'all did those research projects in 507 this summer, you learned something that you put into the classroom, right? I see Al shaking his head. Yeah, you learned something, but we never reported it back. So this one, I'm going to say, not big enough for a capstone project. And if you want to get ISTE certified, I think you can go back to that. Is that 50? Was it 509 or 507? It might have been 509, where you did the online presentation. Al, is that a Christmas tree? That makes me so happy that you have a Christmas tree. Everybody's face is just lit up. I love it. Okay, so we are going to say no to this one for capstone, simply because I think we're like halfway there on that one, and you can take old projects and build on them. Okay, advocate for equitable access. So we did that field trip, that online field trip with that fabulous assistive technology, and I think that was wonderful. I have an old Artifact 5, hang on, let me pull it up, from the old capstone that I think I'm going to give as a possibility for this one. Okay, come on over here. Oops, it won't let me. I have like 5 screens going. Okay, so for this artifact, it's right here. Design an advocacy plan for your school. It must include parental, student, teacher, and administrative buy-in. Implement at least one action plan that promotes the safe and diverse use of technological tools. If you choose, this can be developed from your visionary leadership plan or project 2 from 509. So my thought is this one is still relevant. And if advocacy at your school is something that you see a priority, and what we mean by advocacy, we talked about a long time ago, the construct of a digital divide. Do y'all remember that? Where lower poverty-induced communities have less access to the hardware and software that they need, right? So that's what we're talking about, an advocacy plan of getting resources into students, teachers, parents, whomever's hands that need them. So I'm going to put up this as a potential project for capstone, but I'm also going to put up an example of something a former student did of this, so that you can see an example. Again, if this is not, if you teach at Check Bay Elementary and you have like 5% low socioeconomic status students, well, you're not too worried about this. But if you teach at a school to where, you know, it's not only socioeconomic status, if you have cyberbullying going on at your school, if you have regular bullying going on at your school that has to do with technology, these kinds of advocacy plans would work. Okay, digital citizenship. Implement learning experiences for students to be empathetic and socially responsible. I don't remember who was blue. Who was blue? Lauren and Ashley. This, if you have not heard of Be Internet Awesome, then you need to just put this as one of your 4 for capstone. Because Be Internet Awesome is a Google written plan. It's lesson plans, it's activities, it's videos, it's everything you would ever need to talk about with students being safe and responsible online. Not just cyberbullying, but how to safely do internet research, how to know if this research is credible or not. So basically implementing Google's plan that's already out there with your class, I feel would meet this number 8 ISTE standard. So I am going to put that, this was supposed to be a debate and I feel like I'm just like gabbing at y'all. Old cap 5, the internet awesome. So we have 3 possible plans now. Okay, promote student behaviors that encourage curiosity as they critically identify, examine online resources. So if you just read this one to curiosity, my immediate thought is that coding stuff that y'all are doing right now in 511. Have y'all worked with a student yet with the coding? They love it. They get curious, at least Avery did when I did it with her. But then you see as they critically identify and examine online resources. I don't think we've done that in our program. And how would you do that with little ones? How would you do that with first graders versus 4th and 5th graders who already know how to be online versus seniors in high school who already have bad habits and bad skills online? So right here we talked about Google digital training and small projects that talk about this. I'm going to leave this one as an open-ended, you do something in your class and provide me a lesson plan and a reflection on what meant this. I want to see what you come up with here, because y'all's diversity in what you teach and what you do, there's no way on earth that I could design one assignment that all of y'all would meet this. It is so different depending on grade level. Are we okay? Are we making sense? Okay. Mentor students in a safe, ethical, and legal use concerning intellectual property. I think we touched on that, but that word intellectual property makes me go to that Be Internet Awesome or Google digital literary resources again. The last 2 ISTEs, and some of y'all have come with me, I've kind of gone to the Google booth with problems and they have solutions. So it's like, why would I design something for my classroom when I can just take what they have and modify it? So I'm going to say for this one, you go to those digital literacy, and they're big. I mean, it's a big curriculum. And you pick out things that you think you can teach your classroom or even a small group of kiddos with the ethical and legal use of online material, including intellectual property. So our kids will go to Wikipedia and copy and paste and put it into a book report, right? Or they will go to NASA.com and copy and paste and put into a book report. So teaching citations is one thing, but teaching how to ethically identify that this is not my intellectual property, but it is somebody else's intellectual property that I'm putting onto my own words and citing as such is something else. I see this one as more 4th grade and up. So if you're teaching the little bitties, not really sure how you would do this one, which is why I want to give you guys choices. And I'm writing down what I'm saying as we go along. Okay. Oh, I hear Gabriel whining from the next room. Okay. Okay, this one I definitely don't think we did. And I definitely think I dropped the ball because I think this is an easy and rewarding one to do. Lauren, for example, teaches at a virtual school. She does this one every day. Lauren, you cannot do this one for capstone. But for those of you who don't use virtual meetings with experts or other students, I would love for you to do this one. Do that mystery Skype. If you're teaching a science experiment, use Zoom to bring, you know, a chemistry professor from Nichols into your classroom. If you're teaching a computer science classroom, let me Zoom into your classroom. But just to show kiddos that if I want to talk to you about engineering, I don't need to be like 15 years ago and actually face-to-face bring a engineer into my classroom. I can do a 10-minute Zoom meeting with him, and your kids can ask him questions and really interact with him. So I really like this one. I think it's not an easy one, but I think we've done things all around this, and we just haven't met this one perfectly. So I think this one would be a wonderful, and I want to say that if you do this one, I want you to do it live. I don't want it to be like an expert makes the screencast and you play it in your classroom. I would really like virtual meetings with experts or other students if you use it live. Okay? Next, and we're almost done. I think we have 4 left. Effective communication with all student supporters. Okay, this is our whole parental involvement thing, y'all. And this is going to vary greatly from school to school. So some schools will have, on back to school night, 95% of parents show up. But then some schools will have one parent show up because guess what? They all work at night, or they all have a second job at night. So if that is your situation and you wanted to put something in place to more effectively communicate with your parents, or how about a kid's after school tutor, or if your kiddos go to High Five after school program or Boys and Girls Club after school program, how can you digitally in real time connect with these people in order to have positive effects on your students? Again, not everybody is going to see this with their students. So that's why, again, I'm giving you choices. Okay, this one I'm also going to scratch out because I think we're almost there. We have done a digital lesson plan in 501. We've done a coding program in 511. We've done a professional development thing in 506. We've done all of this. We may not have explicitly put content standards in there, but that's easy enough to do. So I'm going to say that one is off the table for capstone because it is, we're almost there with that one. Next, I'm on the fence about this one, using it for capstone, because I think y'all are already doing this. I think that if you're already one-to-one with Chromebooks, you know that little Avery over there is going to get it very quickly, but little Christian is going to need some more guidance and extra help. I think y'all are already doing this. But if you see a problem in your classroom that you say, this has been a problem with, you know, little Johnny and little Eric, and I need something, and you can design something to meet this exact standard that helps something in your classroom, go for it. Talk to me about it first, but go for it. That's this one I'm a little bit on the fence with, but if, you know, if Chelsea says that, you know, I'm teaching this kid and these 5 kids just cannot go to Google Classroom and look at what we're doing for the day and do it on their own, and you want to design something specifically for those 5 kids that you really think will engage them at the point of the rest of the class, then absolutely this one can be one of your capstones. Okay, last one. No, last 2, sorry. Provide alternative ways for students to show competency. I'm again going to scratch this one out because I think y'all already do this. This is what ISTE wants to see here is you're not just giving summative assessments of tests. If you guys are just giving summative assessments of tests, I have not done my job the last 18 months. Y'all are giving projects. Y'all are giving demonstrations. Y'all are giving different ways for students to show their competencies. We just don't necessarily identify them in our courses, which is something I probably need to work on, but I think y'all are already doing this. Okay, this is the last one that y'all can pick from. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So y'all have 8 and you get to choose 4. Providing opportunities for students to reflect on their own data. This is another one that I'm not sure how that would work for little bitties, but for older ones, absolutely. For example, Christian, my oldest, just started 9th grade. His government teacher, they're completely paperless. His government teacher got all of the freshmen to go back over their first test, and whenever they missed something, they had to identify the exact competency that he had on the board that they missed and why they missed it. And he gave them different things like, I didn't study enough, I didn't know the material well enough, I was confused because of this word and made them highlight the word. I was confused because of something else and made them identify that. So he was getting them to look back on their first assessment, going on to their second assessment to really try to identify why they missed those problems. And at least in my son's case, it was, I didn't study that, I didn't study that, I didn't study that. It kind of gave him a slap in the face, right? But for my friend's kid that's in his class, he used the word militia when talking about the Revolutionary War, and they hadn't talked about that specific word, militia. And the teacher didn't realize that ninth graders would not realize that a militia is a type of army. So she got that question wrong because instead of putting soldiers or army, he used the word militia. And the teacher realized, hey, maybe I should revise that wording of that question. And the student realized, hey, I knew the concept, but maybe I just didn't know the term. Make sense? Okay, I'm stopping sharing. That was the world's fastest debate. I really meant for this to be a debate. Okay, stop video, stop. No, not near. Nusha, stop share. Okay, my love. Y'all unmute yourself and talk to me. What are y'all thinking? What are you thinking? You like the idea of being able to choose?
I like the idea.
Like the idea of being able to choose?
Yeah, so you're going to list all four, all 8, and then the specific requirements for each one of those 8, and then we just go through and submit them separately?
Right, and then for some of them, there will be specific do this or do that. For others, it's going to look very different depending on where you teach and who you teach.
Yeah.
So I would shoot me a text with your idea for this one if you wanted to, and we'll go back and forth.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay. Due dates for the artifacts. Okay. Due date. Okay, my mom just texted me something that I'm glad y'all couldn't see. Due dates for these. So I'm going to say there are 4 things that you have to do, and I'm going to give you 4 due dates. I don't care which one you do first, because you may be teaching a lesson that lends itself to a mystery Skype, but you're not teaching it till the beginning of November. Doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to say, one is going to be due by middle of October, one's going to be due end of October, one's going to be due middle of November, one's going to be due end of November. Again, does not matter to me what order you do these in. Make it fit in your teaching order. Okay? The 5th artifact, the capstone, for everybody is presenting at LeCue, guys. If you have not gone on the LeCue website and submitted a proposal, you must do that. My recommendation was that y'all pair up and say, Jill and Bridget work together. Jill leads one and puts Bridget's name on it, and Bridget leads one and put Jill's name on it. That way, if only Bridget is accepted, Jill helps her do that, and they present together, and they both get the credit. If y'all both get accepted, you can choose. My hope would be I would do both of them. But if y'all only want to do one of them, you can decline one of them and accept one of them. Absolutely up to you. If both of yours get declined, then our SmackDown that I'm talking about will work. But it will not work if both of you do not submit something substantial. If I see that, Casey submitted that the moon is blue, and I'm going to tell you why the moon is blue, then no, that's not a substantial. And these are not big proposals, y'all. It's a catchy title and one little paragraph. It's not a big deal to put in the proposal. Of course, it's a bigger deal to actually come up with a presentation, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so would a grade tracking log work for students or the students kept track of? It would, as long as the students are doing it out. I'm sorry, I need to read that. I'll put, would a grade tracking log work for students? Like if the students kept track of their goal, like the LEAP testing, and each test they track what they see are missing. Absolutely, that would work, as long as it's based on competencies tied to LEAP. Like I don't want to see that Christian made an 89 and a 92 and a 61 and that he can see his grades. No, that doesn't tell him anything. But if he can see that he's being tested on fractions and decimals and then fractions and decimals and then fractions and decimals, and he can track how he's doing on each, absolutely that meets that last one. Make sense? Okay. Do you know if I can go back in and add Chelsea as my partner? I tried, but I could not find it. If you cannot do it, Ashley, there's an email like laq@laq.org. You can email them and ask them to put you on. What if it's competencies tied to certification testing for Photoshop? Oh, I absolutely love that, Jill. That is absolutely fine. If they are competencies that your kids have to meet, that's going to look so different for all of us. That's why I'm trying to, give y'all options and give y'all different. Okay, for these artifacts, what do we submit, a lesson plan, and how we implement them into the classroom? It is going to absolutely look different for each one of these. I think for one of them, I've got a lesson plan and a reflection. For some of them, it can be pictures of Al's kids tracking their own data from fractions and decimals and how they use that data to do something else. It's just going to look, I can't give you a template or a form. It's going to look different for everybody. If you're doing a mystery site, you may turn in emails between you and the other teacher and a picture of the expert up on the board and then a little reflection about what you think your kids learned. It's going to look different from everyone. What I want y'all to envision is y'all are going up for ISTE certification, and you have to prove to these ISTE people, and Phil's going through it for real right now, and I'm about to go through it for real right now. You have to prove to these ISTE people that you are meeting these competencies. So whatever you have to turn in to show that you meet these competencies, that's what you turn in. Awesome. And again, I mean, like Rayana's in kindergarten, and some of y'all in high school, this is going to be so different. Lauren's in an all virtual school. Most of y'all are in face-to-face. Everything's going to look different from everybody, and that's absolutely fine with me. Try to envision this, again, as you're going up for ISTE certification and you're trying to prove that you mastered that ISTE standard. Okay? Questions, problems? Okay, for those of y'all in 511, remember that all the coding stuff is due, I think, is it end of the weekend, something like that? Soon? Tomorrow? Okay, I'll say tomorrow. Tomorrow? And hopefully all that coding went well for you and you had some fun with that. And then I probably won't get on it tonight. I got to go study science with my 4th grader. But I will get on tomorrow all of these artifacts and more information on them. And, shoot me a text if you're not sure, guys. Shoot me an email. If you're on one of these where I don't give specific requirements or examples, shoot me a text and say, this is what I want to do. Does that sound good? The coding project says it's due on the 8th, but the email said tomorrow. 8th is fine with me. I'm not grading over the weekend. Not grading over the weekend. The 8th is what, Monday, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sunday night work. Mondays are my grading days. Yeah, I got a 9th grader, a 4th grader, and a 7th grader. We're all into projects and studying all weekend. So mama's work takes a back seat. Plus, I know y'all use your weekends to get work done. Take the weekend. That's fine with me. Okay? And last call for Kappa Delta Pi. If you would like to be a member of the National Education Honors Association, I sent out an email about that. You have to go online and pay the national dues. And then you have to, yes, Jill, I received yours. And then you have to snail mail me at the office a $10 local dues and $25 initiation fee. Now, the initiation fee covers a cord. Do y'all know what cords are? Cords for graduation. They're beautiful. And a nice pin for graduation and your certificate. So that's what that $25 covers. That doesn't cover anything with that. We'll probably do a small initiative, possibly online, because we're just getting this started and I'm just doing it with you guys and other education graduate students. We haven't opened it up to undergrads yet. But I wanted you guys to be able to do that, to have the cord for graduation. Bridget, as soon as possible. I'm going to have to order the kids by like October 15th. They said to get them in time for y'all's graduation. Is everybody planning to walk? I hope y'all are walking. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Picture. And if you're not on the EdTech Facebook group, I got 3 stitches to do some t-shirts for us because those regular ones they had were really hot. Bridget and Lauren and I figured that out at Dixie this summer. They were very, very hot. They have like a dry fit and a collared one. If y'all want to have one for the Q, y'all like to match on that day of the Q where we're going to do the SmackDown. But of course not required. Okay. Kiss your babies, kiss your spouses, kiss your mamas and your daddies. Love y'all so much. Text me if you need anything. Bye.